But sticking to franchises, Bad Boys Ride or Die. Where do you stand on this franchise, Zach, that has been going on since the 90s?
Yeah, I mean, I have not historically been like a huge Michael Bay appreciator, but I feel like the exception that I make, aside from Ambulance more recently, because that was my shit, is this franchise. I really do love the Bad Boys movies, and the dynamic between Will Smith and Martin Lawrence is among the best buddy cop dynamics that we've got. They just have like an ease with each other and play the foil so well, and it matches with Bay's just like extravagance and vulgar auteurism in a way that is just kind of like beautiful trash to me. You know, this is my kind of turn my brain off action movie ideal, particularly Bad Boys 2. I really enjoy. I'm eager to return to the franchise because I didn't catch the last Bad Boys movie, which was like the last big movie before the pandemic broke out.
Tell me, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. And with Tribeca going on, I didn't get to catch this latest one either. But tell
you haven't
me.
seen it yet?
Yeah, I have not seen it. Tell me if this is going to live up to my memories.
Well, like you were saying, Bad Boys, I think, is a fascinating movie because right now that we're catching the Axel F., Eddie Murphy, what's his name, coming to Netflix soon.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Thank you. That's also a Jerry Bruckheimer production. Everything's a Jerry Bruckheimer production. We're probably a Jerry Bruckheimer production. But what he did there was pioneer, you know, like this gritty cop, having it be a black comedian come out and be able to really just improv and make a really funny series there. He then did it again here with Bad Boys, but he was able to bring Michael Bay, who, like you said, was able to bring in his Bayisms. I think Bad Boys 2 is solid. I rewatched all of them. You are not mistaken, my friend. Bad Boys 2 is a freaking classic. It is one of my favorite action movies. The highway scene is incredible.
Highway scene. Yeah, it's among the best chases ever. Just the absurdity, the recklessness to launch those cars. It's incredible.
I see people talk about like, oh, you know, the Bad Boys, they're kind of okay. No. First and foremost, Will Smith, when they were rolling out his box office numbers of that run he did from the 90s all the way to the 2000s, you could ignore the After Earths and all that stuff. We were not looking at Rotten Tomatoes ratings here. This man had some of the most insane numbers. And I know that Bad Boys 1 was where Michael Bay told him, yo, you're the Fresh Prince. Martin's coming off Martin. Both of you together can become actual movie stars. I mean, from there, we don't need to talk about Will Smith because obviously he had a bunch of classics. But Martin Lawrence also had a streak because he is my favorite of the two here. And I do think they work really well off of each other. And I think each movie gives one more to do. But the run that he had from, let me try to pull all the other ones over here. He says he's working on another Blue Streak. I don't know if you've ever seen Blue Streak. Classic.
Yeah.
My favorite, without a doubt, is National Security. This is one of Martin Lawrence's best movies, dude. I miss this Martin Lawrence so much.
Yeah.
It was just him firing on all cylinders, and he has that in 1 and 2.
Yeah, this is one of those movies that, like, I know if I rewatched it today, there'd be like several things that don't hold up about it, but I still have such a soft spot for National Security.
All those things will make me laugh, without a doubt. I think that he is one of the best comedians that we've had. I love his stand-up. I think both of them have classic shows. Bad Boys 2, to me, is still the epitome of this franchise. Like we said, not just a car chase scene. There's another, I don't know if you've rewatched this one in a while. They do a second car chase scene in Bad Boys 2 where they replace the cars with something else. It holds up. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
When they brought it back right after all the years, like you were mentioning, right before the pandemic hit, and released Bad Boys 4 Life, even though it's the third, but they called it 4. I was like, it feels a little goofy. It felt a little bit like a cash grab, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was good to see the boys come back. Martin was definitely not as chipper as he used to be in the other two. Will was definitely trying to bank in on bringing on another franchise. It was good for what it was, but specifically, I think the standout was the directors. These two boys who ended up doing the Batgirl movie that we may never see again. But they came back to do not just the third one, but the fourth one. I think the fourth one is better than the third one. It is them actually coming in, bringing a lot of stuff from the franchise, stuff that we've seen in 1, a lot of stuff that we've seen in 2, especially, and kind of tying a bow with it. I think it works really well, and it really feels like them saying to the fans, yo, you're either ride or you die. From what we're going to do from this point forward is try to recreate the Fast and Furious franchise. Everyone says that these last two have tried to do a Vin Diesel move. But in reality, when you look at 1 and 2, they gave Vin Diesel the blueprint. They were border hopping to different places. They were doing these big elaborate set pieces. And then, Fast and Furious was able to become what Fast and Furious is. This is them kind of reminding you like, no, we are that. We kind of gave them that. And now we're going to come in and hone it in. This is like them saying you're either going to follow the crazy moves we're about to make the same way that Fast and Furious went from a street racing movie to like, I don't know, what would you say, 5, 6? Whenever they jump the shark for the Fast series, they're kind of setting you up here because there is a set piece in here where they're now in the sky dangling for their lives. And I'm like, okay, we have entered definitely the blockbuster, full-on, maybe unbelievable superhero phase of the series. But as long as they keep one thing intact, that's all that's going to matter. It's their relationship. Martin is funnier in this one than he was in the last one. Will is going on a tour of a comeback. We discussed a lot of stuff after a live ceremony event that happened where he was, a comedian and slapping had occurred. There is a stand-up comedian and slapping that occurs in this movie. It is very meta, Zach. I think if you rewatch all the other ones, but even more so, you keep up on these two, you can see that this is a redemption arc for Will Smith. While Martin has always been the one in this series who has gone through like wanting to retire, he's the one that has anxiety. Will's character of Mike Lowry now is having the panic attacks. He has now had more things to lose, I will say. And it kind of correlates to Will Smith realizing, I had a lot to lose. I don't want to spoil the scene. I'm not going to lie. You may not agree with it. I am sure a lot of people would be like, I don't think he's apologized enough. It kind of works in the way that he sets up this, like, I can't even call it an apology tour, right? Because he's not apologizing. Yeah. He's almost calling it his redemption tour. He's going, I'm still Big Willie. What are you going to do? Bad boys, bad boys. It worked for me, dude. It is over the top. It is not competing with Bad Boys 2. But I am very curious to see how they're going to go all in because this is very much setting up for so many sequels to come, dude. There's so many sequels. That's why the title is Ride or Die. You riding with us or you dying with us? I'm in. I liked it.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about Will Smith returning to the familiarity of like this like somewhat iconic character, at least iconic franchise, in the wake of the slap, right? Like, I believe this is the first film that he filmed post-slap.
Well, Emancipation, no?
But Emancipation was already in the can before the slap occurred.
And that didn't get theatrical either.
Exactly, yeah. And like, coming back to a place where he's reminding us why we love him as a movie star, and he is like he is a genuine movie star. He's not a replaceable asset. There's few people who can do what he does. I do hope that he will take some chances, though. Just he's been, aside from being like an iconic movie star, he's also somewhat known for his conservatism in his choices, in turning down Django Unchained, turning down The Matrix.
Bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, not working with some of these potentially interesting filmmakers who could elevate what he does or find something new. I get why your first move post something like the slap, where there was so much like anger and bloodlust and like an outsized amount of it. Like I had my issues with it, but I did like it was overboard. Absolutely.
He could have killed him.
I get returning to the safety of a film like this because it's so good, and if they're just going to continue making them, and you're promising me that it's just as entertaining as it's been, then I'm excited for it. But I do hope that he also has the interest to challenge himself and take on some interesting movies. And we got an announcement for the release date of the next Jordan Peele movie, and I saw some people talking about like how cool would it be to see how cool would it be, nothing confirmed, to see what Jordan Peele would do with an actor like Will Smith.
Oh my word, stop, that'd be crazy. Yeah, because Jordan Peele's got the cowboy doc that he's doing, but yeah, he did say 2026 can't come here fast enough. That would be good. I would like that. I mean, Jordan Peele has said, I'm sticking to black actors, and it would be cool to have someone at the caliber of Will Smith, because no offense to, Daniel Kaluuya, even in Us with Lupita Nyong'o, Will Smith is Will Smith. This man transcends Hollywood. This is the blockbuster boy right here. I like you. I agree. You know, the slap, just the fact that you could say those words and you know exactly what the event is, was a big deal. But I have said that, you know, there's going to be a redemption arc. Listening to the interviews for the last Bad Boys, it was interesting. Him saying, you know, I'm stuck being Will Smith and I wish I could break out of this and the mold that people see me in. And maybe he's at the trajectory that he needs, because now this is him as his redemption arc. Him as the bad boy Will Smith who can do anything he wants. He's on YouTube jumping off of freaking skydiving off in the Grand Canyon and stuff. I like the way that he used this to be able to vent about what he's been feeling. I like when artists use art. He said he's back in the booth recording another album, which also, speaking of, Joyner Lucas is in this movie. It took me a while. I was like, who is that? Because Joyner had him on his song. It was the first time Will had recorded something. I had completely forgot about that.
Same.
And he said he encouraged him to go back and now do another album. So I think we're going to be getting a lot more Will Smith. I know they're working on that I Am Legend reboot. What would you like to see? Because to me, I do think the King Richards, the Pursuit of Happinesses, that was him trying to take a little bit of that turn. Are you like? Do you want an Uncut Gems? Is that what you're asking for?
Well, yeah, no, I would like to see him do something like that. I would like to see him
Hancock.
embrace. I mean,
Hancock's funny, bro. Like you said,
Hancock's great. Hancock's great. I'm not trying to downplay Hancock, but no, yeah, like I'd like to see him play a bad guy. Like he's somebody who's really insisted on being the hero in so many of his movies.
Well, he did 2022 Academy Award.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
No, I agree with you. I do. I think that would be cool.
And the thing is, like, because he is so charismatic, I think sometimes when you can strip away that charisma, it forces him to make really interesting choices. I think it might have been on Hot Ones, might have been somewhere else, where he said he thinks the best movie he's done is Pursuit of Happiness. And it really pushed him as an actor. I just would like to see him challenge himself. I'd like to see, you know, even though you'll never, I don't know if you'll ever look at him and not at least see Will Smith a little bit. I'd like it to not just be like so obviously Will Smith showing up, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what he's got in store. I would highly recommend catching the Bad Boys movies. This new one is a good addition to it, and I'm curious to see where they're going to take it. Hey, all I got to say is if this is competing with the Fast series, bring me back Rush Hour, bro. I want more Rush Hour movies alongside with it. Bring them all back. Bad Boys, Ride or Die in theaters. I think it's worth the watch, but definitely, once it's out at home, definitely catch it. Very fun movie.
Yeah, so I only had time to go see one of these movies in theaters, so I ended up not seeing Bad Boys, Ride or Die.